Welcome to TradeTheNBI.com. This is Jonas Reports for the 29th. Well, continuation of the magenta rise as well as red over the blue, and the blue is rising on the NBI reading. Signs still under red from a DOC standpoint. All those things are bullish. We had FOMC, the Fed, basically saying that they are going to continue things as they are and print unlimited sums of money, which means dollar devaluation, which forces the market nowhere but up. So, 43, 4,400, not out of sight. You get to a point, though, where market dynamics themselves may change, and we're always going to be ready for it. So, not a problem. Just go with what is, something that we've always been prepared to do. Speaking of which, this was the PNT2A program, slightly different than what you'll see from the DealCon paint. Within the PNT2A, there's going to be an adjustment where you'll have an input for daily charts versus mid-range, and that's coming up in a future update, potentially for our start of the next month. From an NQ standpoint, likewise, readings pretty much identical, a little bit stronger actually in some aspects than the S&P, and just approaching its high peak. From a gold standpoint, popped up a little bit, wasn't able to hold it because, of course, with the bullish move into securities, gold not as popular. Which, as we could look at Bitcoin at the same time, again, just hovering right at this particular stage here, coming off of the deep dip. Not unlikely, though, that we'll revisit that, but just gotta wait for the actual sell signal to transpire for that to take place. From a euro standpoint, just keep on buying those euros, sell that dollar. From an ES standpoint, well, we're looking at the current run. We were talking about this configuration, those little blue dots that I put in right here, as well as green ones. What they represent merely is just the dip of the red below our zero level, and then the turnaround of our magenta. In this case, the second caveat is just a turn up of the green. In that particular case, we get little dots. So they were just what we would consider, real early buy configurations. I added in, of course, cross of green above red DOC, little things like that. Secondarily is going to be added into it will be a configuration for either having steel crossing above the cyan here, representing short-term buyers, moving over shorts. If you don't have a steel reset, which would be just the steel dipping at least to the one value. That way you at least know that you're getting some type of reset, because eventually when you get long periods of the steel just rising above, there's no impetus for a move. So you can get a signal that relatively might be a buy, but you're just going to end up flat along the zero line. So worth noting, if we go back during the day, it was rather choppy because there wasn't anything happening until the FOMC notes were coming out. That tends to be slightly bullish during the day, in which case we actually captured a few of those. Then we had that brief sell that came through, perfect from its reading standpoint. And then we got buy configuration. Of course, it revisited its lows after a little bit of a pop, but then that's when it took off. And then as we got towards the middle portion of it, we ended up with another sell configuration, and each time those were met with buy configurations from what we were talking about here, but maintained the red trend all the way until we get to the bottom point, and even from what your current readings are would be right there. Even though we talked about this configuration right there, and that's led to a move from the 82 all the way up to the 06 that we're at right now. So all in all, good stuff. See if I can send out an update before market opens, just so you'll have the most current one. I want to try and configure those dot setups into it. Not that we're likely to have those unless we have some kind major retrace in the middle of this move, but cyan under red pretty strong, as well as full steel. So there's just plenty of power still left in this move at the current time. As always, though, I will continue to update you on the Skype chat and any relevant developments as they progress. Trade well, and we'll talk to you later.